Hey, Deem Divers, ready to dive deep into this crazy 2024 election?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Things are heating up, and this time we're not talking about the weather in North Dakota.
Definitely not.
We're talking about one spicy little word: garbage.
Oh, yeah, that word's gotten tossed around more than a football this election.
No kidding, and today we're going to pick it apart.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So recently, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum was on Meet the Press,
Right.
and he took the opportunity to kind of slam President Biden for using that word garbage to describe some of Trump's supporters.
Interesting.
I'm not here to judge anyone's vocabulary, but even I raised an eyebrow at that.
Yeah, I can see why.
But here's the plot twist. Kristen Welker, the moderator, pointed out that Trump used the exact same word to describe Kamala Harris's supporters first.
Oh, wow. So there's a little hypocrisy in the mix.
A little bit, yeah. So today we're going to unpack this whole garbage controversy. What does it tell us about the candidates, about the state of political discourse? And, are we all doomed to just keep throwing insults back and forth?
Some pretty important questions there.
Yeah, and lucky for us, we've got you here to help us make sense of it all.
Happy to help sort through this mess.
So let's start with Burgum's initial argument.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed to be trying to link two totally separate things.
Okay.
You had comedian Tony Hinchcliffe's pretty offensive garbage joke about Puerto Rico.
Right.
And then Biden, using the same word about some Trump supporters. What do you think Burgum was going for there?
Well, it seems like he was trying to paint a picture of a pattern of disrespect coming from the Biden administration.
Okay, so he's trying to connect these two incidents to make a broader point.
Exactly. It's a common political tactic. You try to tie negative narratives to your opponent, even if the events themselves are totally unrelated.
So like guilt by association.
Yeah, you could call it that. He's essentially saying, look, Biden and his people are constantly disrespecting Americans. This garbage comment is just the latest example.
Interesting. And he even went further than that. He tied it back to Biden's competency. He actually said, and I quote, "One is the disrespect of this administration for Americans and their concerns, but it also reflects what we've seen is that Vice President Kamala Harris was part of this cover-up of Joe Biden's capacity."
Whoa, okay, so he's really going all in there.
No kidding. He's bringing up Kamala Harris, suggesting she's involved in hiding Biden's supposedly declining mental state. It's a pretty bold claim.
Definitely. And it's another classic political move. Deflection. You deflect attention away from the original criticism by throwing out a bigger, more shocking accusation.
So it's like a distraction tactic.
Exactly. It's like saying, hey, don't focus on this little garbage comment over here. Look over there at this huge scandal.
Okay, I see. So by bringing up Harris and Biden's mental capacity, he's trying to shift the narrative away from his own criticism of Biden's language.
Right. It's all about controlling the story.
But then Welker calls him out. She reminds Burgum that Trump used garbage first. And not only garbage, but also scum.
Oof, that's got to be awkward.
Total gotcha moment. And Trump didn't just call Harris's supporters scum. He said they want to take down our country. They're absolute garbage. Pretty harsh words even for Trump.
Yeah, no kidding. So how did Burgum respond to that?
Well, he kind of tried to sidestep the whole hypocrisy thing. He
Right.
basically dismissed both Biden and Trump's language as just typical political name-calling.
Interesting. So he's basically saying everyone does it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's implying that most Americans are so used to politicians insulting each other that no one really cares anymore.
I'm not sure I buy that. I think words matter, especially coming from people in positions of power.
Right. But do you think Burgum's strategy of just dismissing it all works?
It might work for some people, those who are already cynical about politics and see it as a mudslinging contest anyway.
Okay, so for those who are already disillusioned, it might not make much of a difference.
Right. They might even see Burgum as being above it all by refusing to engage in the name-calling.
But for those who do care about respectful dialogue, this kind of response probably comes across as a cop-out.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, yeah, they both said bad things, but it's not a big deal. Let's move on.
Which kind of makes him look hypocritical.
Absolutely. It highlights a big problem in politics today. Even when you try to call out hypocrisy, it can backfire if your own side is guilty of the same thing.
Yeah, it creates this kind of vicious cycle where everyone's throwing stones and no one's innocent.
Exactly. It's hard to take the moral high ground when you're standing in the mud yourself.
So let's talk about Tony Hinchcliffe for a second, because his garbage joke about Puerto Rico adds another layer to this whole mess.
Right. That was a pretty controversial situation.
Yeah, both Democrats and Republicans condemned the joke.
Which is pretty rare these days.
No kidding. Even Trump ended up distancing himself from Hinchcliffe. He said, probably shouldn't have been there, yeah.
Oh, so even Trump thought it went too far.
Apparently so. Which is interesting because he's usually so quick to defend his supporters' right to free speech, even when it's offensive.
Yeah, he's always been a big advocate for, no matter what you say, free speech.
So why the change of heart in this case?
Well, it could be that he realized aligning himself with someone who makes such a blatantly offensive joke was just bad optics. Even for him.
So damage control.
Possibly. It also shows how complex the issue of free speech is in politics. The line between acceptable and unacceptable can shift depending on the political climate and who's saying what.
So what's the big takeaway here? Besides the fact that we need to expand our vocabulary beyond garbage.
Well, I think it shows that inflammatory language is a dangerous game. Both sides do it, and trying to call out hypocrisy can easily backfire.
Yeah, it's like a trap. You end up getting caught in the same cycle of negativity that you're trying to criticize.
Exactly. It's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved and for the voters who are just trying to make sense of it all.
It makes you wonder if there's any room left for nuance or thoughtful debate in politics.
That's the big question, isn't it? In a world where every word is scrutinized and weaponized, is there any hope for meaningful political discourse?
That's one for you to ponder, deep divers. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the crazy world of politics.
Until next time.
See ya.